I was studying vegetable oil at the time. And then, not surprisingly, in vegetable oil, you found vitamin E because vitamin E is found in, and vitamin E is used in vegetable to protect the oil from going rancid. So sometimes we got it into our head that, we a plant makes all these lovely things for us. Plant never make anything for human being. We should be thankful that we got it from the plant. So, but the fact that plant makes more vitamin E than their oil tells us a lot because the oil will go bad quickly and therefore they protect the oil from going bad, what we call rancid, like that. So I know you're going to ask about our body fat, this and that. That's when I can tell you why I'm specifically interested in this kind of antioxidant and cut out all the other noise, because everybody and their grandmother's dog is claiming the antioxidant can do this, and because the vegetable oil is inside the cell like corn. When you eat corn, you don't feel the oil, but when you process the corn to cornmeal starches, this and another thing, and then out come corn oil. So when it comes to corn oil, it's no longer inside the cell. It's no longer inside, well, in the plant, you call it a cytoplast, in the plant cell like that. Now, that has significant meaning when it comes to human cell. I know you're going to ask me later. So when you process the vegetable oil, it's not really in cell. It's just like an ocean of water, ocean of oil like that. So, and yes, sometimes the processing, if it's gone not properly protected, it goes bad. If we were to talk about PUFA from vegetable oil, we have lots of things to talk not positive about. But let's think about the positive thing and how to protect it. Everybody loves omega-3. DHA and EPA, they are even more unsaturated than PUFA or vegetable oil.
Yes,
So
yes.
I've been telling people like mad, when you take omega-3, which is a good thing, can you please take vitamin E to go with it? If it is not, this wonderful omega-3 goes into your blood, lands into your cell wall, and then there's nothing there to protect the omega-3. That's not a good thing. First, it gets into the blood, and then they travel with a scientists call it lipoprotein particle. Pretty much these are particles that have one or two proteins in it, mostly an ocean of phospholipid with the fat. So it's kind of like a carrier. And then they carry this to the gazillion trillions of cells in the body, and then it get landed onto the cell, and then it become part of the cell wall of the cell. That is the final resident place of fatty acid. People don't usually think about that. I know when we eat too much fat, we have our love handle, this and other places, but that is not where most of the fat are landed in the place that you cannot touch. It is on the cell wall of the 38 trillion cells. That is about 5,000 times the population of the earth, and then the entire cell wall. And that is very important. While I'm at it, I might as well say it. Think of the cell wall that contain the nucleus, the mitochondria, all these wonderful things in a cell that does all the good things. Think of it like you live in a gated community. You want the good guys to come in, and then the waste to go out. In the cell, it does the same thing. Your nutrients to go in, sugar, fat, good things to go in, and things you don't want after the refuse is being made, it go out. That would only work if the cell wall is a properly gated community and not compromised. Now, about 80% of the cell wall is actually fat. 80% of the cell wall is fat. So just think about that. 80% of cell wall in every cell in your body and mind. I consider that to be the rudimentary, primitive way of understanding aging. I know people have aging in many other things. I consider that as aging, and I call it primitive because it was always there from day one before we got all this horrible illness like that. Good things go in, bad things come out. Now that I convince you on that, let me go a step further. In the 1980s, there was an Austrian professor. He was just obsessed by the idea, what exactly are the antioxidants on the cell wall that protect the cell? And when he deciphered all of that, I was surprised and pleasantly surprised that greater than 90% of all the antioxidant on the cell wall, they are vitamin E molecules, meaning tocopherols and tocotrienol. And less than 10% of them are, you can count it on your hand, CoQ10, which our body makes, lycopene, and beta carotene.